This is my breakdown for UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Hernandez, and we are going to start with the early prelim opener. Juliana Miller versus Carly Judas. Exactly what I said was going to happen in the prediction video. Carly Judas just outworks her the entire fight, lands better shots on the feet. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much happened. On to the next fight. Jordan Levitt versus Yair Del Val. Now, I thought Del Val was going to be able to control the grappling a bit more. Instead, he was getting controlled. Jordan Levitt was able to land 4 takedowns out of his 8 against Yair, and the entire fight, it just seemed like every time Del Val would get momentum, Jordan Levitt would land a takedown and just stifle it. So Jordan Levitt pretty much did that for the entire fight. Impressive performance. He looks a lot better than he did against his bouts against Patty or Chase Hooper. So good win for Levitt. Got that pick wrong. On to the next fight. Jean-Paul Lebosiani versus Phil Rowe. Now, this fight was very close. I thought Lebosiani was going to be able to control the feet a lot more. Phil Rowe did a good job landing some good shots in the pocket, but honestly, I think this could have gone either way. I don't think Lebosiani is that good after seeing this. He should be doing better against Phil Rowe, but he did get the job done. So congrats to him. Got my pick correct. Punahele Soriano versus Rami Ibrahimaj. I mean, pretty evenly matched fight, but nothing really exciting happened. I expected Soriano to land bigger shots on the feet, maybe catch Ramiz Brahimaj coming in and wobble him a bit, but nothing of the sort happened. Ramiz Brahimaj also landed some decent shots, but Punahele Soriano gets the job done, uses grappling a lot. And next on the card, Nora Canole versus Jocelyn Edwards. Jocelyn Edwards controlled the fight on the feet and secured a takedown and got a submission, which I did not expect. I did not expect her to use her grappling at all. You know, we expect her to be a lanky striker, keeping range on the feet, but she was able to get the submission, and I think she could be a real problem in this weak division. So congrats to Jocelyn Edwards. That pick was also correct. On to the next fight. Alden Correa. Now, he clearly won this fight, and he looked better everywhere, but he did go through some struggles on the ground. He did get taken down. And this is a good fight for a guy so young in his career to be able to go through adversity and come out on top. It's going to be a great learning fight for him. And he's going to end up looking really good in the future. But Garul gave him some problems, which I didn't expect, to be honest. But like I said, he was better everywhere and gets the job done. Now this fight, oh my goodness. Ode Osborne versus Alibi Idris. Similar to the Lebosiani fight, Ode Osborne, I thought, was landing the bigger shots in the first round and the first half of the second round. But every time he would get comfortable in the feet, Idris would land a takedown and control him for like a minute. And then when Ode would get back up, he would lose all momentum, and Idris would start to land better shots. And the third round, there was a moment on the ground where Idris got a little tired, and then Ode reversed positions, but he just couldn't land any damage. He had no killer instinct, no intent to finish, and Idris gets it done. Ode's one of those guys where he can KO or drop a really tough guy and then lose to some bum. I'm not saying Idris is a bum, but he definitely didn't look like ranked material out there. On to the prelim headliner, Chidi Njokuani versus Carlos Leal. I had Carlos Leal winning, and man, was this a war. That first round, Carlos Leal throwing everything into his shots. Clearly won that round. I think he hurt Njokuani a little bit. Nothing crazy, nothing to where it would drop him or anything, but huge shots the entire fight. I don't know how he kept that pace up. And in the second round, mixes up his grappling a little bit, but Njokuani does well to defend and starts landing big shots of his own. I think Njokuani got that round. And then the third round, straight back, just swinging. The entire fight, just swinging. So Carlos Leal wins that round and ends up getting the decision win. And they should They shouldn't cut either of these guys, man. I think Carlos Leal needs to jump up in competition and just keep putting Chidi in these tough fights, these fun fights. Because man, is he good to add momentum to a card? On to the main card. Speaking of momentum, all the momentum of the card was killed due to Michelle Pereira versus Zachary Reese. This fight was it was okay. I mean, it wasn't awful, but Michelle Pereira is nothing like what we thought he was before the Anthony Hernandez fight. Edges out a close decision. Both of these guys aren't that good. Both these guys aren't going far. On to the next fight. Jacob Smith versus Josiah Harrell. This was competitive while it lasted. Um, Josiah Harrell lost position on the ground. Jacoby Smith gets him in crucifix and lands brutal ground and pound, like 13 unanswered shots, crazy late stoppage by the referee, and then the referee pushes Jacob Smith off of him aggressively. Like, you didn't just allow that late stoppage to happen. Like, how are you upset about that when you allowed that to happen? I don't know. Josiah Harrell looks really good. I know Jacoby Smith is like the biggest prospect in the sport right now. And Josiah Harrell, he looked he looked like he had potential, but I don't know. This is one of those beatings that you don't know if they can come back from. So I hope Josiah Harrell's good and great win for Jacoby Smith. I think they need to give him close to a top 10 guy, man. This guy's incredible. Up next, Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. This was a good fight. Sergey Spivak's popping the jab in the first round, bloodying up Ante Delija, which I did not expect at all. We're used to Sergey Spivak's grappling being awful, or not grappling, striking being awful. And I thought because of the Waldo Cortez Acosta fight with Ante Delija, that he would be able to land better shots on the feet, be able to actually touch Spivak's chin, which he did in the second round, but it wasn't enough. He didn't have enough pop on his punches. There was a moment where he almost, or not almost finished, but trapped Sergey Spivak up against the fence in the second round and started teeing off, but Spivak ended up clinching, getting off of the fence, and starting landing shots of his own, and also got the ground. He got the fight to the ground and controlled the fight there. But Spivak looked good. And I'm kind of sad because Ante Delija was one of the only guys I was looking forward to in this division. We know Spivak's lost to a lot of the top guys, so there's not really much we can look forward to with that. Up next, Dan Ige versus Melquizael Acosta. Great performance. Pieced him up on the feet while the fight was still going on. And at the end of the first round, spinning back kick to the chin. I don't know how Ige wasn't out cold. I thought it might have been a little bit early, but after rewatching it, Ige was kind of just curling up. So incredible performance. This guy's a real threat to the division. I think they need to give him a step up, maybe in the top 10, because he's already gotten 2 back-to-back highlight KOs against great competition. So yeah, I think he definitely needs to jump up. Up next, the co-main event, Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. Not what I expected at all. Uros Medic starches him in the pocket. Left hook to the temple. Jeff Neal's out cold, man. Brutal. You got to think if the Carlos Prates fight had an impact on this. Like, his chin might be gone. Jeff Neal was never KO'd before his last fight, and now he's been colded back to back. It's hard to see where he goes from here, but Uros Medic, that guy's fun to watch, and the post-fight interview was crazy too. So I'm hoping they give him a top 10 guy next. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really know. That division's kind of booked up, isn't it? But especially with Buckley versus Brady just being announced. But great win for Uros Medic. That guy's fun. On to the main event, Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. I thought it was pretty close for the first 2 rounds. And I picked Anthony Hernandez to win. But Sean Strickland's grappling defense is incredible. Now, how good will it be against Hamza? I don't know. But against Fluffy, who I thought was the second best guy in the division, man, just looked elusive out there, piecing him up on the feet. Fluffy did land some good shots with the boxing, but the more the fight went on, the more comfortable Sean was getting. Couldn't get taken down, and in the third round, knee up the middle, lands on Fluffy's stomach, and we all know that's his weakness. So when that landed, Fluffy went up against the cage, kind of curled up, and then Sean Strickland just teed off on him. Sean Strickland landed big uppercuts in the pocket, right up against the fence, drops Anthony Hernandez, goes off, and it was over from there. And it was kind of wholesome to see the post-fight interview after all the talk and the build-up, to see Sean Strickland praising Anthony Hernandez after Anthony Hernandez said he was going to torture him. It was nice to see. And Sean Strickland, I don't know if he should get it over Imavov. I don't think he should, but I wouldn't mind if he did, you know. And if Imavov wins, man, that's the fight to make. Sean Strickland versus Nasruddin Imavov. They already have beef. They already have history. Sean Strickland beat him in the first fight. They've been talking for years. So yeah, that's the fight I want to see, and that's my recap for UFC Fight Night: Strickland versus Hernandez. I'll see y'all later.